Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Power of Possibilities with myself, Hank Setala, and Heather MacMillian. We're both into access consciousness. I'm a CFMW, and Heather is a certified facilitator. And we're here to create a whole bunch of fun in your world around money.
Yay!
How does it get any better than that? And I love the picture that we picked for this. It really has this energy, exactly what we're talking about. Like money, is it a friend? Is it a foe? It's like part of all of our realities, and we all experience it very differently. And it's kind of like that devil's advocate energy. Like it could be good or bad, but what if it could always be good?
Well, and what if your point of view as Gary and Dain, the founders of Access Consciousness, this incredible modality that we have the great honor and fortune of facilitating out in the world, what if your point of view creates your reality and not the other way around? So if you have the point of view that money is a foe or that it's a bad thing or a wrong thing, how is that showing up in your world? And what if you could use some really easy tools to change that point of view and generate and create a different possibility?
Yeah, and as we go through this, substitute the word money with whatever's going on in
Yeah.
your world. The same tools that apply to this apply to so many areas of our life, but money is this like common ground where no matter where you are in the world, even if it's a barter system, there's some sort of exchange, there's some sort of things going on, and that's what we're really gonna dive into today. And I'm just remembering to make this public on my page, so I'll do that. And an
Yay.
invitation for all of you to
Magic.
invite people you know
Yeah.
to join us on the stream. And of course, this is interactive. If you have a question, if you have a comment, feel free to ask them, and we love to interact and go down any rabbit hole that you'd like. So, Heather, do you
Yeah.
find more people that come to you, do they find money as a friend or as a foe? And what's your first step in helping to shift people from the foe state to the friend state?
Oh, I love that question. I have facilitated over the years that I've done Access a lot of clarity nights and many classes on this tool called the How to Become Money Workbook. It's so weird how I have to hold it up to the camera that way. Okay. And what's cool about this book is it really gets you present with, well, what are your points of view about money? What does it mean to you? What does having it mean to you? And once you're aware of those points of view, then you can choose to change them. And so that book in and of itself addresses so many of the very common points of view that many, many people have, no matter where you are in the world or what kind of family you grew up in. And the book even talks about, Gary Douglas, the author of the book, talks about how even if you have a lot of money or your family does, the issues of money are the same for everyone. We all have these points of view and judgments attached to money. And what if we could change them and have more ease and more peace?
And how many people in some area of your life that all of a sudden you had an awareness around something, and in that moment of clarity, in that moment where you had that one extra piece of information, everything changed and you stopped doing things that didn't serve you and started doing things that were going to create possibility. We've all had those moments of clarity. And the trick with access really is to be willing to perceive, know, be, and receive about everything. And in true
Mm-hmm.
awareness, you don't need protection for anything. In true awareness, you can always have choice to choose things that are possibility. But if you are playing dumb, if you choose to be, well, because truly, we're all infinite beings. The only reason
Yeah.
you're not aware of something is because you've decided or concluded that it's easier to not be aware. But in truth, if you were aware, you could make way better choices. So
Oh my gosh.
using the
Yeah.
tools to shift out of the place of choosing ignorance, which isn't a wrongness or a rightness. It's just what served us up until this point. And humanity as a whole, we're ready for the kingdom of we at this point.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But just using tools to start shifting, to have the willingness to be aware, the willingness to ask a question, and that is what's going to create the most change, because it really becomes a spiral possibility when you're willing to just be aware, and not just around money, about every area of your life.
Yeah. I mean, and one of the tools, and I talked about this on a couple streams ago that we did that I've been playing with is, okay, well, how much of the way I've been functioning here, how much of what I just said here is actually a conclusion? And it's really, getting present with that. It's like, wow, okay, I'm functioning at 40% conclusion with regards to everything I just said. And I use what's called the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement to give all that up, to destroy and uncreate all of that. It's a really simple tool to change the energetic considerations and points of view that we're actually functioning from. And you can find out more at theclearingstatement.com.
And I actually put the link for that in all of our broadcasts now, because there
you.
hasn't been a stream yet where we
5
haven't talked
minutes
about the clearing statement. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
But you
talking
could,
about that.
and I did try, it looks like the link didn't go through on all the places we're streaming to, but I did post a link to on Amazon for the How to Become Any workbook if you wanted to check that out. That by far,
thank you so much.
you know, next to taking like a bars class, which is a great intro point, that has so many tools in it that are applicable in so many areas. When you're talking about the questions and things, one thing that comes to mind to bring up to people is we do have the tendency to ask questions that aren't really questions, but it's really a statement or a conclusion. Like, why does money things never work out for me? Like, it's not really a question that creates possibility. That's like that looping question that keeps you in the space of money never works out for me, because you're really just stating a conclusion to the universe versus like what else is possible around my experience with money. And that type of question, even in science, topographical brain map, it lights up the brain in a whole different way. And it's like, well, how could we change this? And it really starts to create like these little energies that go out to the universe and say, how can we create change? And then as you go through your day, you just start to notice things. And that's what we call in Access following the energy. You're following the energy that matches the question of how do I create something different around money, around relationships, around family, which I have to think of my acronym for family, or Access is acronym for family. But really asking the question about what could I be, what could I choose that would create a different possibility. That is like the best recipe for changing your life, is the willingness to ask that question. Boy, somebody's being really loud outside. My apologies, guys, if you can hear that through the microphone.
It's the rule of live streaming. Like there's going to be someone blowing leaves or something, a certain percentage. But so, which brings me to, you know, everything that you said there is what Access Consciousness is all about, which is empowering you to know that you know. And a question always will open the door to a different possibility, and an answer or a conclusion will decay possibilities, will diminish possibilities. And so we can play with these tools of the clearing statement and of asking questions to open the door, like Hank said, to something totally different. In fact, I was reading another favorite book before we got on the stream, Salon de Femme. It's a favorite of mine. And a question I was playing with from this book is, how do I create, like, say whatever isn't working for you in life, money-wise or anything, you can ask a question: how can I create a reality beyond this reality that would actually work for me? And it's so different than coming to the conclusion of, oh, I have to fix this because it's not working, or I can't fix this, which is another conclusion that people come to. Instead, asking, well, what would actually work for me here?
Yeah. And just a willingness to be aware in that moment, because a lot of times we miss those opportunities to even ask a question because we're on autopilot, and we just passed away an opportunity to ask 10 different questions that could have created an entirely different possibility, because we have tunnel vision and we're not focused on really being present. We're focused on where we think we're going instead of being aware of where we are.
Yeah. And like you talked about before, following the energy. So when we ask a question, we're not looking to come to a conclusion of like, well, what would I actually like to create here? What would I like my life to be like? Which is incidentally the questions that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, used to bring all of these tools into the world. And we talk about that in the Access Bars class. He became aware when asking those questions, and we can become aware when we ask those questions of the energy. And energetic creation is becoming more and more of a potency in the world. I mean, have you noticed that lately? Like when we ask these questions, it's like, wow, that energy, whoa.
Yeah, and things seem to come around a lot more quickly when things are asked for, and that everybody experiences a little bit differently. But the energy in the world in general seems to be like everything is just moving faster. It's coming along faster once you are willing to ask a question and give yourself permission too. If you make a choice and then all of a sudden that choice doesn't make as much sense as it did a minute ago, one of the other tools in Access is living in 10-second increments. You always have the ability to
Yeah.
choose again. But sometimes we're taught, and I think parents, as a parent, would be guilty of this. Your kid really wants to sign up for something, and they sign up and they go like twice, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Well, no, you got to honor your commitment. You
Oh
know,
my gosh,
like we're
me in
taught it's
ballet growing up.
right. Yeah, so we're taught at an early age, like you have to, once you make a choice, you stick it out until it's done. And it kind of is a thing we learn later in life that we have to take back that power a little bit, and if something's not working for us, to have the ability to set a boundary or to make a different choice. But we make, even when we do that, we then make ourselves wrong for doing that. And turning this towards money, where have we decided that it's not okay to have a lot of money? Like, where are the places that we have made money the foe because people we know that have a lot have been mean or angry or have been corrupt, or on the flip side, there's an idea called secondary gains. I forget where the term comes from, but like if you have something that is serving you about something that isn't really what you want to show up in your world, you're empowering it. So every time if someone says, "Hey, do you want to go to this retreat?" or "Hey, I want to do this," and you really don't want to, and you blame it on the money. Well, I don't have enough money for that. I don't have
So,
enough money for that.
yes.
You're enforcing to the
I've
universe,
never done that, right?
right? Or I don't have enough time. I think you're the one who brought that up, that on a previous stream, that those are things that nobody can argue with. And
Yeah.
so instead of
Or
just
I'm sick.
being,
That's another,
yeah,
one that people play with. Because who's gonna be like, no, you're not. I mean, you can't argue with that.
right. And in the Bible, and I'm just using this as a reference point, one of the big takeaways, it said that your yes be yes and your no be no. Anything you put along with that choice is a judgment or justification to defend or to agree with or whatever somebody else's judgment about whatever your choice is. But your choice is your choice. So if you want to choose something, you choose it. But if you're choosing it because I don't this or because I can't that, then you're actually giving away your power as a creator to something outside of you, and really using it just as a justification for your no, which you don't need a justification. You can just say yes or no.
I know. I love that. And it totally is relevant to the conversation around the tool that you introduced. So, a few minutes ago, Hank mentioned the tool of living in 10-second increments, which is a really vital tool of access consciousness. It's one of the keys to total freedom. And what if a choice is only good for 10 seconds? And if you've got 10 seconds to live the rest of your life, what would you like to choose? And now that 10 seconds is up, what would you like to choose? And what if there's no, like Hank also said, there's no right choice or wrong choice, and you don't have to justify or defend or prove that what you're choosing is right or wrong or good or bad, or that there's some sort of valid reason for it? What if you could just choose?
Yeah. And once you make a choice, the universe lines up. So I just want to give this example.
Yeah.
We call him Magic Mike. He's local to Cleveland. He goes to all kinds of events. Many of you might know him. And he
Is he
really,
watching?
I don't know if he's watching. He might be watching.
Say
Magic Mike, are you
hello
out
if
there?
you are.
Yeah, normally he gives us like little fluffy unicorns and comments and stuff when he's
Yay.
watching. But Magic Mike for years had really desired to take a foundation class. And then finally he's just like, this is it. I'm taking it. Like, he signs up, doesn't have the money yet, but also took the How to Become Money workbook. And things just in his world lined up. He ended up getting like driving jobs and all these different things. And he actualized that money. Now, he could have just as easily had said, I don't have the money for that. And that would have been the end of it. But he chose, I'm choosing this. And as soon as he chose that, energy started to shift in the universe, and he was given the opportunity to have and actualize the abundance needed in order to pay for his desired choice. And so, what about that? Oh, Angela says, I choose only love, love only.
How's it get better than that? Yeah, and that's thank you for that example, Hank. That's such a brilliant example of choosing and allowing the universe to show you the possibilities.
Yeah. And
So
now, oh, I was
yeah,
going to give one other thing, that now, like when I just bought a Healy device and all these like things for my healing practice. And as soon as I chose to buy them, I had revenues come in from my different revenue streams that all paid for the things that I was choosing. So like it really is like you make the choice and the money could show up that easily. It's having just the practice and the confidence that you know once you choose something, the universe has your back. And the answer is always yes. The question is, once you ask, are you following the energy to do your part?
Oh my gosh, yes. And that's where the How to Become Money workbook has been such an incredible gift in my life, because I had this very narrow definition of money. And it was mostly like numbers in a bank account or X, Y, or Z. And every time I go through it, I get rid of more points of view and more of this kind of energetic baggage that goes along with the whole idea of money. And I can just be aware of it as energy. And so it's really created a lot more space for me and a lot more space to create different revenue streams. Like Hank, you just mentioned different revenue streams. And that's a question I would invite people to play with is what other revenue streams could you add to your life that would actually be fun?
For that matter, when I was growing up, I really had the mindset that the way you made money was only to have the thing they call a job, to get the thing they call a paycheck. And being self-employed now, well, you have the web store, you have your clients, you have events. Then there's, my Amazon affiliate account. Like I posted the Amazon link, so I post links like that
Yay!
to my videos, and all those things. Like all those things are little revenue streams. And so, if what are you good at? What are
Yeah.
your potencies, and what contribution could you be that comes so easy to you that you don't think that you should get paid for it because it's so easy for you, but other people it's not easy at all. Like video editing for me is my nemesis. Can't do it at all. Web design, no problem. And so like, but we all have that. Are like people who are gifted cake decorators, like you never know what that potency might be. Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, had one where he had this knack of looking at like a furniture floor plan of a house or whatnot and being able to find the fabrics and things that would complement it. And it sounds kind of hokey or whatnot, but that is like a great gift in design work that
Brilliant
you could get
gift.
paid for. But
Yeah.
he minimized the gift and he didn't really think much of it until way later.
Wow. Yeah. You totally read my mind with that one because I was like, wow, I wonder what everyone watching this now and in the future, like, what are you great at? What do you do best and easiest that you've actually discounted?
Yeah. And everything that allows you to discount it, destroy it, uncreate it, times a
Yes.
godzillion, right,
Right,
wrong, good,
wrong,
or bad.
good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. You need two pod pockers for that one. That's got a lot of stuff on it.
Definitely. And we already mentioned it before, but in case you jumped in the middle of the stream and you don't know what we just did, that's the access clearing statement. And there is a link in the video description to the clearingstatement.com that shows you what all that is about. There's like a video from Dr. Dain Heer and all that on that website too. So what question? This is a quiet group. I see you watching out there. We have a couple likes and a few hearts and everything and a couple of
Hey,
places.
thank you guys
But do you have questions, comments? We're going to have a couple other topics coming up over the next couple days related around money and things because we do have a 10-part How to Become Money workbook series starting next Monday. And I hear somebody mowing the
Yay!
grass. Live
Come
stream
play.
this.
And I hear the birds. Oh my gosh, what an amazing gift, the birds that are around.
Oh yeah, we put up all these bird feeders and a bird bath and all these things, but it's also attracted this very mischievous chipmunk that just sits in the bird feeder and just shovels like all this bird food and you see his face get this big.
That's funny.
It's like, we refill this every day, buddy. You don't have to like gorge yourself trying to take all that. But truly, that is one of the places where we get stuck with money too. This idea of scarcity, that there isn't
Oh
enough
yeah.
and all that. And really in an infinite universe, as an infinite being, and as a potent creator that you truly be, is there any way that you couldn't truly actualize everything that you really require to choose everything you'd like to choose? It's out there. The willingness to ask and the willingness to receive. We talked about this. Like imagine ordering a pizza, right? You're ordering abundance from the universe. Money come, money come. The pizza guy shows up and you never open the door. Like opening the door, following the energy, doing your part, that's your willingness to receive. And how often have we made a request of the universe and we just didn't show up after that? And there was like 10 opportunities for the universe to deliver, but we chose not to open up any one of those 10 doors.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of that joke of the guy who's like, there's like a flood and, he says, God, can you help me out here? And then, someone comes by in a rowboat and the guy says, no, like, someone's gonna, the universe is gonna help me out here, is gonna save me. And then someone comes by with, another vehicle and tries to save that person. And then finally someone comes with a helicopter. They're like, you're going to drown if you don't leave. And he's like, no, God's going to save me. And then he drowns and he goes to heaven and asks God, what's up with this? And God said, I sent you a rowboat. I sent you this other thing. And then I sent you a helicopter and you didn't listen. So I would wonder for all of us, what are the ways that the universe, that God, that spirit, whatever you want to call it, has been gifting to you what you've desired, what you've asked for on a silver platter, and how much energy are you using to refuse it? And all that is, all the energy you're using to resist and refuse that, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds.
No charge on that at all.
Oh my gosh. I know. I'm like, where did everyone go?
Yeah. And one of my favorite questions I like to ask in the morning, because one concept in Access is this idea of having teammates. It's part of like the Talk to the Entities specialty group. And we have all these beings around us, beings of light and things that are willing to contribute to us, but we never even ask them. And I love to start my day with what energy could I be and what choices could I make to walk hand in hand with the universe and all my teammates and beings of light, and the willingness to receive all their contributions. Anything that doesn't allow that, destroy and create. I have an open invitation for them to participate in my experience so that everything can come with ease and joy and glory, which happens to be the mantra of Access Consciousness.
Yay. Yeah. Play with that. 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the evening, and any time in between. Like, say you tell a joke and it just bombs, or whatever it is. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. And this is one of the most freeing things about Access, is that as facilitators of it, we don't have to be perfect. That's why I'm joking. It's like, oh, I've never done that before. Because it's not like other things that I did before this, where it was like, you have to present yourself as this perfect guru type person. You're allowed to show up warts and all and be like, yeah, we're all on this journey. We're all looking for greater possibilities and what else is possible and what can we contribute to each other, having more ease, joy, and glory with all of it.
One of my teachers, Zane, would often say that he's no better or worse. He looks at all the students as teachers. He's just a brother that happens to have been down the path a little bit longer and has a few tricks to show you here and there to create ease on your journey. And that's what it really is. We are in the kingdom of we. What contribution can we be to each other? What contribution can we to the earth? And what contributions can we receive from one another? Because the biggest problem isn't even asking. The biggest problem is our willingness to receive. Because we've taught to be, we're in it on our own, don't accept help from other people. If you can't do it, if you don't do it yourself, you can't count on it being done, and all these types of things that we have cut ourselves off from receiving because, oh my gosh, what if they let me down or whatnot? It's that we don't even have the willingness to receive at that point. So melt those barriers and walls. What energy could you be to completely receive all the unlimited contributions from all the other aspects of divinity around you?
Wow, yeah. And everything that doesn't allow that, can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And like that terrible joke that I said, what has been looking to give to you and contribute to you that you haven't been willing to receive? And this is the gift of the How to Become Money workbook, is because when we destroy and uncreate these points of view, these blinders, these judgments we have, then more contribution is available, both for us to be and receive. And oh my gosh, so much fun. Like just even receiving the contribution of the birds lightly chirping around you and their energy and their vibration. It's just such an amazing gift. Wow. Like, how did I get so lucky?
Yeah. One good final thought too. Well, at least as I was feeling like we were wanting to wrap up at 12:30. We really didn't talk about how long we were going to
Fried
stream.
people, yeah.
But we can
I
go.
sense we have fried people.
Yeah. If there's questions, we'll of course answer
Well,
questions
of
and things
course.
like that. But the class that we're talking about, all the information's at emergence of being / possibility. The other thing I'm going to be
Okay.
doing on the website is I'm going to be making like little like save the date type posts where you can sign up and just put your email address in, because if you're watching this on a replay, on this page, everything that's coming up that's access that's sponsored by Emergence of Being is going to be on this page. And there's going to be the how to become any workbooks. There'll be clarity nights, which we haven't talked about, but I'm sure we're going to have clarity
Yes.
nights. I'll be doing tools of change with access consciousness. There's going to be, everything's going to be on this page, and things coming up like in October. We've talked about having a talk to the entities 2-day class.
Yay.
But they're not officially posted yet to sign up, but we're going to have like a list there where, hey, I want to know when this comes out because this sounds interesting to me. So you'll be able to sign up. That's not set up yet, but in the next, actually will be right after the stream, I'm going to get that set up. So it'll be pretty quick, but check out that. It's going to have all the things, including the bars night, which isn't on there yet, but it's on the Emergence of Being site. But the first Thursday of every month, we do a bars clinic in North Olmsted. On the third Thursday, we have a practitioner night. If you go to accessconsciousness.com, you can find events like that local to wherever you are in the world. It's in how many countries now? 107.
Oh my gosh,
That's a lot.
176, maybe more.
Something like that. It's in a lot of countries from all over the place. And if there isn't a local event, there's always going to be virtual things like the Clarity Nights or the How to Become Any workbook calls or anything like that. What about a final clearing, Heather? Like just, since they're already liquid, perhaps one just to finish the job and melt them completely around everything around money and receiving.
So what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you and your body be to make friends with money for all eternity with total ease? Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Awesome. And with that, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, we are going to be on, I'm not sure which one we're going to do yet. We're either going to be How to Become Money Magnet. We'll do Change Your Thoughts and You Will Change Your World. Actually, that's feeling like, because it's got the cup of coffee. And tomorrow we're on at 7 a.m. So set your alarm. Set your alarm, 7 a.m. We will do Change Your Thoughts, Change Your World, and what else is possible with the tools of access consciousness.
Thank you.
Yep. Till next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.